It's a story that they made a movie about starring John Voight. I can't remember what it's called at the moment.
What was the attack, though?
You'll have to read the book. So I'm just going to put a lot of stuff out there.
Okay, cool.
I'll tell you later. I have the book at home. So knowing this, that we as a whole and our consciousness, through our heart mechanisms, which are also attuned with each other, not just our consciousness. We're not just these individuals that walk the planet who have to connect with other people. We are connected whether we know it or not. So that as a, for instance, as I studied this stuff over the years to let know what my higher self already knew, I was giving permission from a superpositioned awareness that exists in each of us to every other spirit or soul that walked down the street or I came in contact with it. It's okay now. You can look for the real truths. You don't have to thump a Bible anymore. That is starting to fade out of consciousness. Churches are emptying out. They're being turned into thrift stores and places to house people, I think. But membership is waning. Why? There's an incongruency. And souls know that it's now time to actually seek the truth and go towards that enlightenment that everyone promised would one day be here. The Egyptians predicted 2012, the Mayans predicted 2012, and others along the way predicted somewhere around this time. A lot of prophecies have not come true. Nostradamus said, you and I should be sitting at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean right now. That didn't come true. Why? Because we are creating the experience. And it seems as if there's this quiet network encircling the globe that they have now discovered. They call Indigo Children, Rainbow Children, Crystal Children, Celestial Blues, Star Seeds. They're coming from all over to be here to help us make this shift through positivity and awareness. These are our children. They are here like angels. Now, so to describe how this shift is going to occur through our consciousness is, it's not something you can even stop. And here's the only way you can become a positive, creative aspect in this shift, is to put down the bags and move forward. The bags are dogma, lies, and belief systems that were injected in you as a child and through your whole life to believe in things like right now. I'll put this forward. There are several things that people are really afraid of. What is going to happen in 2012? The Earth is warming up. Global warming. Now, let's just start with that right there.
All right.
Global warming. If you were to consider that it is not the humans' fault. Oh yeah, no, wait a second. There are a lot of humans who are just out to serve themselves, and yet at the same time disserve us. Okay?
Really?
The population. You could call them the Illuminati, the enlightened ones. Just say they that run the world. And we'll get to who all they are. And, most people are studying David Icke and some of these other people. They already know about that network.
Yeah.
But they don't understand it from a perspective other than the one down at the bottom of the pyramid. When you look at it from over the top of the pyramid, and I have met with some of these individuals that run the world,
Keepers.
Esoterically, and also been in their presence. So I've not only astrally met these people, because I astral project, and I biolocate, and I do a lot of other things due to my participation in alchemy over the last so many years, the actual substance itself.
We'll get into that in a moment, folks.
It is very, very strange to see it from a place of victimhood and then to be elevated above that and say, see how it all runs? See how it all works? So even if you are a person who didn't believe in any of this, it doesn't matter. Evidence from researchers like Dr. Boylan, who works with Starseed Children, Doreen Virtue, people who I myself attended the Berkeley Psychic Institute long enough to have met some of these children who can do amazing things. For instance, in China, Drunvalo Melchizedek did a piece called Through the Eyes of a Child, and he does a lot of explanation in this, and it's a video that you can buy. And he has an actual child there who can do some pretty amazing things. China has rounded up as many as possible, somewhere around 100,000 they say, but there are some that have goddess-like and godlike powers, just like that show Heroes.
Mm-hmm.
What they're trying to do when they say heroes is, these are a very few special people on the planet that can do this. I just saw your third eye lighting up. Purple. But it's not that way. And that's what they always try to do, is make it out like this is some special gift. These are geniuses. When in fact the true definition of genius is, it's already inherent within. You're just reaching that potential. So that genie they talk about is where we get the word genius. Okay? And it's also genes. And the story of man, Genesis. So they tell us. It's all in there. There's a lot of truth in there, but it's been clouded by dogma. So once you put this dogma down and you consider things like this.
Well, if you put all the dogma down, there's like 3 pages left of the Bible left.
Pretty much. Pretty much. And they're pretty relevant, actually. But the whole Bible, according to Sir Isaac Newton, who was looking for things like the Bible Code, and who was privately an alchemist, he said the whole Bible is fraught with alchemy. What does that mean? We'll get to that. But our consciousness is participating in an event. And it is a time when I'm watching things manifest through us, in our experience, sometimes unaware that these things are happening. So you'll see lots of metaphors and things and synchronicities occurring faster and faster and faster. And one of the reasons why is they're lying to us about planet Earth. They're telling us global warming is our fault. The caps are melting because of us. Here's another aspect you might want to consider. This will release you from a lot of fear, number one. Guilt. 2 man-made emotions, fear and guilt. They are in no way divine. Fear is false evidence appearing real, and I had an acronym for guilt once, and I can't remember what it was. But here's the point.
We can get to that in a later video.
Here's the point. Planet Earth, as far as we know, for God knows how long, as they say, it was on a 23.5 tilt. And this is why we have seasons. But see, a lot of discoveries don't jive with the assumptions of science. And therefore, if you go to the older texts, like the Vedas and the Gaelics, which nobody's ever heard of, and some of the even older ones,
I'll try to see if I can get some links over in the sidebar, folks.
They will tell you about a time when the Earth was straight up and down, which is called foliiform. Okay? Anywhere between, if you study Michael Tsarion, Tsarion, or Jordan Maxwell, or some of these other guys that have gone into alternative texts and histories fearlessly and put it out there, what you're looking at is a planet that was once up and down until the story's kind of different. But remember, our ancestors always thought of the stars and the planets as gods and goddesses.
Yeah.
They said there was a war in the heavens with the gods. Now, you could take that down to the little gods of Sumeria, and not the big gods of the celestial sort.
Yeah.
And there was also a story that matched with that. And there was a story that the Vedics say. So let's just choose that one. They say the brothers of light were fighting and hunting the brothers of darkness throughout the universe. And they wanted to destroy the brothers of darkness. Not a one left. So what they did was they found our solar system, these brothers of darkness. And they hid out in it. And they put up a radio. Now, you got to understand, these are ancient texts. But they talk about weapons that could vaporize an elephant in an instant. Are we talking about nuclear bombs? Where they may have found a nuclear blast site in ancient India underneath a lot of soil with all the animals burnt in an instant, elephants and all.
Whoa.
Just like it's said in the text.
This
is part of forbidden archaeology, which people should also look up. Okay. So, getting back to it, is that they said that the planet was straight up and down at one time. And remember those little terrariums we used to make in school? That's what planet Earth was like. And because she wasn't a quarter bubble off, and our consciousness is at one with the mother, planet Earth, she doesn't belong to us, we belong to her. We're her children. We are of that zeitgeist. And the mother gets her prompting of consciousness from our sun, that gets it from the central sun at the center of our galaxy, which gets it from the center of the universe, which is only one of many. Some have already been destroyed, some are yet to be born. As you'll see when you look and see what Hubble has been discovering recently. Mind-bending. And look for all the metaphors and animals and creatures within the births of these solar systems and galaxies that they're looking at. You and I did that.
Yeah,
and in that one, we saw
I'll post a video in the sidebar, folks. You gotta watch it. It is
saw it
beautiful.
instantly. There was a baby's face, and that was exactly what you said. And you see all the features of that child.
It was. It did
like
exactly look like a baby's
of a newborn system.
Hmm.
So we'll get to NASA later on what else they know, because NASA knows about this. NASA runs some experiments you would not believe, and I'll get to some of that.
Okay.
But
first,
this one is how they became aware that planet Earth is now going from 23.5 back to 0 very quickly.
mm-hmm.
It's like you took a plate and you spun it, and it wobbles. And what happens is at the end, it gets really fast, and then it stops.